there, and welcome to Neophyte.tv, the technology show for the not-so-geeky. My name's Tiffany Young.
And I'm Ben Friedman, and we are back in beautiful Ontario, California for the second annual, it's our second annual, I think it's the second annual, Podcast Expo, Podcast and New Media Expo. We were here last year with Blip TV, you remember that?
I do.
But we're super lucky this year. We've got a fabulous sponsor, Revo Labs, that makes some incredible microphones for video conferencing, Skype, podcasting. Anytime you want to get audio into the computer or audio for video conferencing, teleconferencing, RevoLabs.com is the place to go. And joining us right now from Revo Labs is Daryl. Daryl, how you doing?
Good to meet you, man.
Now, Daryl, you are a sales rep for Revo?
Yes, I am. I'm the Western Regional Salesperson for Revo Labs. I cover everywhere west of Denver.
Right.
That includes beautiful Hawaii and also Alaska.
Ah, that's nice.
Yes.
Alaska. Did you know Tiffany's from Alaska?
I
There you
am.
go.
In fact, weren't you?
Hawaii.
You were Miss Alaska, right? Or runner-up or something?
First runner-up 2 years
Miss
in a row,
except
that's
for
another
that,
story.
if it wasn't for that scandal with the
It was
pictures
so
on the internet
political,
and the.
yeah.
Anyway, other than that,
Thanks, Ben.
Miss
Appreciate
Alaska.
that.
So that was great. Now, Revo Labs. You know, I'm sure in the teleconferencing world, it's a big brand name, but in podcasting, it's fairly new.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what Revo Labs is, the mics you make? You know, give us a little overview.
Absolutely. Revo Labs, and this is the size of the microphone here compared to the microphone you're holding there.
Look at this
Yeah.
size difference here.
It's a very
size
small-
matters. So
1.9 gigahertz,
Uh-huh.
which means I don't have to worry about any of the TV encroachment in 2009 about digital TV.
it's wireless,
Right.
completely wireless.
Exactly. It's RF frequency, and also it's below the 2.4 gigahertz requirement for wireless network, or 5.8 as well.
So your microwave won't shut it down.
That's correct.
Very nice.
Now,
Yeah.
not only does this little microphone here have an 8-hour talk time, but it's also encrypted, and it has a 60-foot range from the base to the microphone itself, line of sight.
Right.
However, if your room has a bunch of chicken wire because you have an older style house,
And who's wired? Whose room doesn't have a lot of chicken wire? Oh, in the walls, you mean?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to know about what you got in your wall. But basically, we've got a nice 60-foot range, so you can walk around if you need to. The other benefit of this microphone, which is not common for many wireless microphone manufacturers, is I can actually use this not only as my microphone, but also as a receiver.
Right. And like I said, this is one of the
Very nice.
fabulous features of this mic that I love. So plugs right into USB. It pops right up on my computer.
Exactly.
You know, it was no problems using it all. I use Skype. And so I just clipped the thing right here to my shirt, and guy could hear me. It was very clear. But even better than that, I plug a headphone into it, put the headphone on my ear, and now I can hear the guy who's talking to me on Skype even as I walk around the room.
Exactly.
I went to the bathroom. The guy could still hear me. No
nice.
problem.
Hopefully
Lucky
you
for
hit the mute
those
button.
noise cancellation.
And there's a mute button right on the
Yeah.
mic. That would have been good to know while I went to the bathroom. But
Oh,
Yeah.
nice, Ben. Do you have
Next
good
time you
noise?
call me, I'll listen for the background noise.
that's right. Although it does a really good job of canceling out the background noises, I
Right.
found. I thought. It
Noise
seems-
cancellation.
Yeah.
Either that or your friend didn't want to tell you.
That's right. That's what where are you? I don't know. So that's great. Now there's a USB version, and then there's a version
That's
with
correct.
an audio output.
That's correct. The basic model is the X-Tag, and it is USB only. It's powered by USB, so you don't have to worry about a wall wart. However, it has only the wearable type of microphone,
Right.
and it shares the very same characteristics that I just mentioned to you. The bigger brother there is a single-channel version, which we use in the professional world. Not only does it have the USB output, but it also has an analog output, which we provide cables for to convert to RCA.
So you could put that into a mixer,
Correct.
mixing board in a conference room type
That's
thing.
correct. Either that or to your Polycom video conferencing station, or whatever you need to actually send an audio input.
Very
Let's say
nice,
you've got a Marantz portable recorder device. You can actually wire that into a stereo left-right and then use that for your recording. Now, the other thing about it is we actually have a choice of 3 microphones with a single channel. Not only do you have the single channel wearable, but we also have a boundary microphone and also an XLR adapter.
That you could just plug into the bottom of a mic like this one.
Correct. It has to be a dynamic microphone like an SM57 or 58.
Not a condenser.
Because it doesn't have phantom power on it.
Right. So, just to recap here, we've got fantastic microphones. If you're a Skype user, if you're a podcaster on the computer, if you're into video conferencing, you just plug this thing in, and it's two-way wireless communication with low noise and 60 foot, and it's not in the Wi-Fi band. So it's not going to interfere with your router or interfere with all that kind of stuff.
That's correct. And don't forget, one other application is that a lot of people are also using it with Dragon Naturally Speaking.
Oh, like for voice recognition.
Exactly. So
Ah,
speech to text.
that's a good idea.
I don't know if we're Mac Speech certified yet, but I do know that we are working with Nuance to be certified there.
All right. Well, listen, Daryl, thank you so much for sponsoring us to come here.
Thank you very much.
Where do people go, I guess, to find out more about these mics?
You can go to our website. It's www.revolabs.com.
revolabs.com to find out about the fabulous USB X-Tag microphone, all their other microphone systems. We're here in Podcast Expo in LA. We're going to go take a look around the floor and see what else is here. So stay tuned. So here we are back. We're still at LA, and we're here with the beautiful TechSmith people. It's Andy Walker, Sean Carruthers from Lab Rats at labrats.tv, one of our favorite podcasts, fantastic podcasts. And guys, what are you doing here? What's going on? Labrats.tv. Labrats.tv.
You have been doing such a good job too, I have to say, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, coming by here, and how do you even keep your voice all day? I would think by the end of the day you would have no voice left after talking to all these people.
I'm dreaming of the day when that happens.
Oh, I tell you what, here,
John, very
I'm
funny.
going to give this
Very
to you.
funny.
Chat amongst yourselves. I'm going to camera. Talk.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well,
What you doing?
Hi, Ben. One of the things we've been doing here, we're at TechSmith, right? So we're promoting TechSmith is a big sponsor of Lab Rats. And so we've been giving away these fabulous coffee beans.
Java beans.
Java
Can
beans.
we tell who's had the most Java beans today?
Exactly. so that's why I have my energy, but I think I'm going to start to expire in a little bit.
Aw.
Would you like some?
Here, Ben, you.
Actually, I would. That sounds really good.
Some of these?
Java beans, Java beans, Java beans for all. That's the only way to, that's really good marketing, you know. We do our guerrilla marketing, but I think the better way to do it is hand out candy with your card on it.
That's right.
Right?
Exactly. Look.
That's the way to go. Ah, thank you.
You.
Thanks.
This is for you.
Chocolate.
Thank you.
That's like a cup of coffee, right?
What else do you
Very
want to
good.
talk about? fabulous
Okay.
Sean is?
So let's talk about your show.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me about your show.
So Lab Rats is a video podcast where we show you how technology works. We call it Technology Made Simple and Slightly Funny.
Okay.
Because
With
Sean's
a bit of
a
cheese.
laugh with a bit of cheese. Sean's a laugh a minute, and I'm kind of the straight guy. I don't say a lot on the show.
Ah, okay. Got it. Now is it sort of what kind of technology do you cover?
Everything from like Windows to gadgets to TVs, and we do a little bit of Macintosh technology,
Oh.
which is kind of boring, but we have to do it anyway. Sometimes we do a bit of Linux.
A little bit.
What's your favorite part of the show that we do?
Usually after we've been doing the show, the end.
Okay. Very nice. No, way to take one for the team. You know, hanging in there. So how often do you shoot? Every day? Every week? I mean, what's your?
Well,
how do
so
you-
we have a logistical problem. Sean decided to move to the other side of the country in Canada. We're from Canada. And so he lives 3,000 miles from me. So what we do is he comes to me sometimes, we shoot 10 episodes.
Okay.
And then 10 weeks later, I fly to Vancouver and we shoot 10 episodes.
Ah, very
so
nice.
if we look a little jet lagged
Ah.
on the show, it's because he moved away from
Well,
my
at
house.
least you get to travel. I mean, you know, the traveling's not so bad.
Traveling's good.
you
See
like
a different part of the country. So,
like some more?
I'm good.
delicious?
See,
Good. I'm good.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thanks.
So we are also standing at the TechSmith booth. Okay. So tell us about TechSmith.
TechSmith is they have a fabulous product called Camtasia Studio. So in the show, what we do is we'll show you how something on Windows works, and we use Camtasia Studio to record our screen, so that we can cut that into the show. And so it's what's called screencasting software. It's there's a new version coming out, Camtasia Studio 5, fully automated, kind of record your desktop, produce it on the fly, and it's super fabulous.
Now the word around town, and meaning that everybody here is podcasters for the most part. Everybody's in the business and industry for the most part. And Fantasia is a software that I keep hearing over and over again. Mm-hmm. So TechSmith, just off the mark.
Get out of the way.
No, it's okay, don't worry about it.
It's all right.
That's all right.
So TechSmith, even outside of this booth, there's a lot of people talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, talking about the products and how good it is and how well it works.
They are the number one screencasting company in the world. They make this really cool other thing. We should mention Jing, right? Jing.com, Jing. It's basically a screen recording software. It's free though. So you can record your screen, you can take stills, that sort of thing. You upload it to screencast.com.
Very nice.
It's super fun. It's Mac and, there you go, see Sean?
And everybody loves free, right?
Everybody loves free.
Free is good.
Mac
Free is
version,
good.
PC version.
Or both Mac and PC, very good. Okay, well, is there anything else you'd like to add before we
I
wrap
think
up?
you're fabulous.
Thank you.
and
I
buy
try.
Andy's book.
And buy my book.
It's my shoes. You like my shoes.
I do like
Yes.
your, yeah, you have a foot fetish,
Oh,
you have a shoe fetish.
Let's mention your book really quick. Let's talk about your book. For a second.
So I'm the author of The Absolute Beginner's Guide to Security, Spam, Spyware, and Viruses. It's available at a bookstore near you. And then my second book is called Windows Vista Help Desk. And I wrote a third book with a guy called Nick Sagan. It's coming out in January. It's called So This Is the Future. So 3 books so far, and 1 more book coming out next year called Windows Lockdown.
Okay, so where can we find you?
Any large bookstore, Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com. Just type in Andy Walker, and you'll find all my books.
All right, Andy. Well, thanks very much for your time. Thank you to the TechSmith booth for allowing us to stand here and film and be here and their wonderful products. So, with that being said,
Yeah.
we're going to wrap this up and go on to the next interview. Stay tuned.
Yay. Bye.
You guys are very distracting.
All right, we are still here in LA, beautiful Ontario, California, Podcast Expo, talking with Brad Hunstable of Ustream.tv. And Brad, there's all this activity going on behind. Why don't you tell me what exactly is going on here?
What we have behind us is one of our popular Ustreamers, a guy named Mason Reed, who does a show on Ustream called thisismason.com, a guy that is growing out of this whole live video thing, really embraced our technology and has developed a following, and he is here helping us interview people and interview the different guests, and he's just a popular Ustreamer.
Now, this isn't like a podcast, this is live.
It's similar to podcasts in the fact that it is content that is user-generated. A lot of creative individuals create it, but it is live. You can record it for later playback like a podcast, but it's more like typical broadcast TV, except that it's user-generated for anyone.
And it's all over the internet, broadcast
All over the
TV
internet.
on the internet.
Correct.
So basically, right now, he's doing a show, like a little talk show behind us.
Correct.
And that's going out through Ustream.tv to anyone who tunes in.
Anyone who tunes in, it's on our site. It's on Mason. And actually put it in his website.
Oh, because you can embed the player.
You can embed it. And what really makes it special, it's not the fact that it's live, but the fact that Mason can interact with the chat room. And so that's
tell
what
us
you're
about
seeing. Well, when we started the company early on, we knew that live was something special, and we tried to figure out what makes live special. And it's a couple things. It's anticipation and it's interaction. And that interaction piece, everything we've done has been towards allowing the broadcaster and the viewer to interact more, whether it's through a chat room or our internal polling system, so he can do a poll on the fly, and all these different features we've done to allow people to, almost like you're having a conversation face to face, but from thousands of miles away.
Right, so I was sitting down here before, and we're doing a thing, and it said there was like 100 people watching us on the internet.
Yep.
And then there's a little chat room window, and one guy said, who's the girl on your business card? I was holding my business card. Who's the girl on your business card? And I said, well, that's Tiffany Young, the co-host on the show.
that her right there?
That's her right there, yeah. And we're running behind the camera. So, and I could say that's Tiffany Young. If you want to see more of her, you can go to neophyte.tv, or if you want to see the naked pictures, you can go to tiffanyyoung.com. And no, I'm just kidding. There is no tiffanyyoung.com, or if it is, it's not her. But no. So it was great that they could ask me questions, and one of them said, stick the card on your head, and so I stuck the card on my head.
Because it was live.
It's live, and it's two-way.
It's two-way.
Two-way, that's great.
Two-way to a lot of people. There's always been live. Broadcast television used to be live always.
Right.
Back in the early days.
It was
of
never
TV.
recorded.
It was never recorded. That has evolved. And then live came back with two-way video conferencing, which was one person to one person. And only now are we kind of getting to the point where bandwidth costs are correct and the infrastructure's right to where we can do you sitting there broadcasting to hundreds or even thousands or tens of thousands of people all at once over the internet. And that is something very special.
What have been some of your most popular streams?
Oh, we've had a lot of them. Everything from, of course, the podcasting stuff has been very interesting. To last night, there was a bunch of high school football games on that had hundreds of viewers.
High school football games.
High school football
So some guy
games.
takes his laptop down to his high school game,
Yep,
shoots the game as it's happening, and anyone who wants to can just tune in.
absolutely. And he was doing commentary,
Yeah.
and it was very cool.
Fantastic, because
Hockey
you're just like you're
games.
there watching the game.
Yeah, well, we have an inline, the amateur inline world championships are doing stuff. Again, they just called me and I said, yeah, here's how you do it, commentary, they're doing stuff. So the sports stuff has really been taking off.
Fantastic.
We've had weddings. We've had, heaven forbid, memorial services done on Ustream. Churches do a lot of stuff on Sundays. And then we got people streaming their live 24/7. So we got this very cool mix of people who are utilizing the platform.
So if somebody wants to check this out, where do they go?
If you want to check it out, it's www.ustream.tv, ustream.tv. Check it out. It's easy and be up and running in about 5 minutes.
Fantastic. Brad, Always a pleasure.
Pleasure to meet you, finally.
Thanks a lot, man.
Take care.
We'll be right back.
All right.
Okay, so here I am standing in front of the Smidgets.com booth with Curb Stevens. And can you tell me why people should go see Smidgets.com?
Very exciting stuff. The Curbster is on there. I've got my own neighborhood news show. Thus the no pants, because in news you really don't need those.
Well, see, I couldn't get away with that.
Well, I don't know. You ladies have skirts and stuff, so you know.
Well, yeah, it's sort of similar, right?
If I could, I would. Like the kilt guy, he knows what's going on. Smidges, check it out. We've got comedy. Twice a month we're putting on original stuff. We're writing it. It's Saturday Night Live type stuff.
Ah, very good. So you're a funny guy, huh?
Well, I'm an actor. I take it seriously, and if the situation deems humor, it happens.
Right, let it flow. Let it flow.
Let it flow, baby. Yeah.
That's great. So tell me about your content. Are you a daily? Do you do new stuff every day, weekly? I mean, how often does your stuff come out?
Actually, I'm always working Tiffany, the Curbster.
That's what
It's not always aired. Okay, a lot of it doesn't make the air because it's not all G-rated stuff.
Okay.
Sometimes I try.
I think you have to click to subscribe to the other non-G-rated site, right?
Yeah. It's really hindered my career, but I'm trying. I mean, there's going to be a forum for the Curbster somewhere in some market. But Vegas is, that's the place to be if you're Sin City, baby.
Hey, I'll tell you, anything goes in Vegas, right? Goes in Vegas, stays in Vegas. We don't know. Yeah.
I got to tell you, I live there, so please bring it with you. Whatever happens in Vegas doesn't stay. We don't need the baggage. All right, bring it with you.
That's funny.
It's serious. I'm serious.
He's a funny guy. Okay, so Smidgets.com. Curb Stevens, thank you so much for joining us today.
Tiffany, thank you.
Podcast Expo, Ontario. We'll be right back.
2 mics. Oh, yeah. 2.
Okay, so here we are at the Bias booth, BIAS, Bias booth with Corey Stuck from Bias, right? And why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Well, I'm a product specialist with Bias, and we do audio software for the Mac and PC. We're showing Peak 6 here today, which is our editing and kind of CD mastering software. We've included with the version 6 some podcast publishing, and also we are including our noise reduction tools with it.
Now, is that soap? Sound soap?
Soap, yeah.
I've used Sound Soap.
Great.
It's a fabulous. If you have, when you record like here, or you record and there's like some bus, you're on a bus and there's that low drone in the background or wherever, you get that noise, or a ceiling fan in the background, and Sound Soap it's so easy to use. Right. So give us a little bit more. What does that do?
Well, Sound Soap is great for any kind of ambient background noise. A lot of people love it for tape and LP transfers to clean up any kind of noise and hiss. Video editors love it because you can never control the environment you're in when you're
kind of like this.
Exactly. Yeah. And Sound Soap can help kind of bring it down to actually make the interview pop out.
Right.
And it can save you when.
And there's a fairly inexpensive version of Sound Soap.
Yeah, Sound Soap is normally it's $129. We're actually doing it at the show for $79, which I think is a steal.
It really is, because the first time you use it, it'll pay for itself. It's a fantastic bit of software.
It saved me many times on projects when I should have been paying attention, and saved a lot of clients. Oh, this is great! You saved me.
So if people want to learn more about these products, where do they go?
Our website, which is www.bias-inc.com. And we have a lot of information and videos on our products.
Fantastic. Corey, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice talking to you.
You too.
So here we are at Podcast Expo with Gary Trafford from Sound Ideas. Now, this is a company I love. They make, amongst other things, sound effects for podcasters.
And music.
And music. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's sound effects, music, and production elements. So we sell royalty-free music, usually like 1-minute tracks, and also a number of different sound effects, general all-purpose sound effects that people would use in their podcasts, as well as production elements as well, too. And the production elements, all these things add like a little bit of spice to people's productions.
Right now, you have a huge library of sound effects and such, but I think you guys also have like a podcast starter kit.
Right. We cater to motion picture companies, television, radio.
Right, the big expensive people. But if you're just a brand new podcaster, just getting started, and you want like a really great core little library.
Purpose kind of package. We sell Podcast 1 and Podcast 2. And Podcast 1 is like a nice all-rounded package that has music, sound effects, and production elements in there. and there's like 1,000 tracks, and those are MP3 files in that. Yeah.
And then Podcast 2 is just more of the same?
Podcast 2 is primarily, it's more music, because people were asking for more music tracks. So we have impact sound effects, we have a lot more music tracks, and then we have more production elements, as well as whooshes, which are like special effects that take you from one frame to another.
Like transitions, you put it over a transition, or...
They call them intros, extros, that type of thing, transitions like what you just mentioned as well. Yeah.
The podcast kits, what do they go for?
Well, the retail price is $129.
$129, which, for 1,000 tracks?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you're getting, I mean...
That includes the license as well, too, which is very important.
Right, it's not just the music. You can then use that royalty-free anywhere.
Exactly. Well, royalty-free within reason, so it's actually a synchronization license to use those sounds in conjunction with the podcast, voiceover, that type of thing.
Cool. Now, if people want to find out a little bit more, where do they go?
Well, you could go to sound-ideas.com or sound-ideas.com on the website, or come see us at the podcasting trade show, booth 306.
Fantastic. Well, I know we use a lot of your sound effects, and Brian sent me one of those discs. I thought it was fantastic value. So it's great. Have a great show. Thanks for your time. Right. Gary, see you again. So that was Podcast Expo, our second year, live from beautiful Ontario, California. What do you think of the show?
Cool. It's cool here. That was
after
the
Phoenix?
First breath of cool air I've taken all summer long. The show, wonderful. We saw a lot of the same people we saw last year.
Yeah, Tony
which
Katz
nice.
was great to see. Jim Kirks, those guys. Curb Stevens from Smidgets. That was fantastic.
Very, very nice to see. And a lot of new booths,
Good
too.
people, yeah, that was true. And I got to say, thank you so much to RevoLabs.com
Thank you, Revo Labs.
for sponsoring us to come in here. And they have fabulous mics. Check out RevoLabs.com. And I'd just like to say one more thing. Your sister is here.
She is.
Let's get her in. Let's get her in. Come over here. Come over here. Come on. Come on. This is the sister of Tiffany Young, right here, Tammy.
Isn't that nice? We do
hi,
family trips. Hi.
There she is. I got her in the shot. So it's great. Now, Tammy, you live up in Lake Tahoe, Truckee kind of area. That's right?
Yes.
And what did you think of the show?
I thought it was great.
This is your first exposure to podcasting?
It is, yes.
Because you're a paralegal.
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. Like being interviewed?
No.
Being put on camera?
No.
Okay.
No, I leave that to my sister,
Yes,
who is
no.
very lovely and very good at what she does.
Oh,
She is
thank
indeed,
you.
and we're
Thank you very
thankful
much.
to
and
have
of course,
her.
I brought my biggest fan.
Yeah. Well, it was great having you here to help us out. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you.
You're welcome.
And
thank
you.
Revo Labs.
Stop by our website. Drop us a comment. Let us know what you thought at www.neo-fight.tv. And we will see you next week.
On a regular scheduled time.
Same time, same bat channel.
Which is anytime you want, because you can
That's right.
download 24 hours a day.
That's right. And if you have an extra 30 seconds, take a look at this.
I don't really know what you just said, but I don't know what you said.
I sent the presentation on the spreadsheet, the next week's presentation.
The newest iPods, including the new iPod Classic, which tops out at 160 megabytes, and the new iPod Touch, which is just like the...
Hi there, I'm Ben Friedman from neophyte.tv, and for the best sound for your podcasts or office communications, check out the microphones at revolabs.com.